Our Father's plan encourages a husband and a wife to bring children into the world and obligates us to speak in defense of the unborn. Obligates us to speak in defense of the unborn. Obligates us to speak in defense of the unborn.
The Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints has consistently opposed the practice of abortion.
I've been fascinated with how cleverly those who sought and now defend legalized abortion on demand have moved the issue away from a debate on the moral, ethical, and medical pros and cons of legal restrictions on abortion, and have focused the debate on the slogan or issue of choice.
The woman's choice for her own body does not validate choice for the body of another. The expression, terminate the pregnancy, applies literally only to the woman.
In today's world, we are not true to our teachings if we are merely pro-choice. We must stand up for the right choice. Those who persist in refusing to think beyond slogans and sound bites like pro-choice wander from the goals they pretend to espouse and wind up giving their support to results they might not support if those results were presented without disguise.
The consequence of terminating the fetus therein involves the body and very life of another. These two individuals have separate brains, separate hearts, separate circulatory systems. To pretend that there is no child and no life there is to deny reality.
Abortion, which has increased enormously, causes one to ask, have we strayed so far from God's second great commandment, love thy neighbor, that a baby in a womb no longer qualifies to be loved, at least as the mother's neighbor?
If we pick and choose what we accept in the proclamation, we cloud our eternal view, putting too much importance on our experience here and now.
We declare the means by which mortal life is created to be divinely appointed. We affirm the sanctity of life and of its importance in God's eternal plan.
I apologize for the use of words repugnant to me and ill-suited to this hallowed pulpit. I do so only for clarity of communication regarding reverence for human life. It is a war on the defenseless, on the voiceless. It is a war on the unborn. This war, labeled abortion, is of epidemic proportion and is waged globally.
It is believed that over 1 million Jewish children were killed during the Holocaust. As I experienced the museum, I was overcome with emotion and completely devastated. Standing outside to regain my composure, I reflected on the horror of the experience and suddenly realized that in the United States alone, there are as many abortions every 2 years as the number of Jewish children killed in the Holocaust during the Second World War. But the intensity of my feeling was about the loss of children. Bringing children into the world is a sacred part of our Father in Heaven's plan of happiness. We are so numbed and intimidated by the immensity of the practice of abortion that many of us have pushed it to the back of our minds and try to keep it out of our consciousness. Clearly, the adversary is attacking the value of children on many levels.
A society, for example, in which individual consent is the only constraint on sexual activity is a society in decay. Adultery, promiscuity, elective abortion, and out-of-wedlock births are but some of the bitter fruits that grow out of the immorality sanctioned by the sexual revolution.
By prayerfully pondering the proclamation through the eye of faith, we better understand how the principles are beautifully connected, supporting one another, revealing our Father's plan for His children. Of course, some reject the voice of the prophets immediately, but others prayerfully ponder their honest questions, questions that will be settled with patience and an eye of faith. If the proclamation had been revealed in a different century, there would still have been questions. Our Father's plan encourages a husband and a wife to bring children into the world and obligates us to speak in defense of the unborn.